Have you ever found yourself sitting alone in your room, or perhaps in the quiet of the night, raising your hands in dua, pouring your heart out, and yet feeling nothing, like your words are floating into a void and no one is listening? You keep asking again and again for something you desperately need: guidance, relief, peace, a solution, and it seems as though Allah's silence is louder than your prayers. That silence can feel heavy, it can feel crushing, and in those moments a subtle, poisonous thought may creep in. Allah doesn't hear me. Allah doesn't care. I've tried, but nothing works. I want you to pause and hear this clearly. That thought is a lie. Shaitan loves to whisper doubts when your heart is tender. He wants you to stop, to give up, to let despair take root. But the truth is in the Quran. In the words Allah Himself has promised, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Quran 40:60. The words are clear. He hears you, every single whisper of your heart. Every tear you have shed, every sigh you have released in desperation, it is all heard. Allah sees it all. So why then does it feel like nothing is changing? Why do you continue to wait, to hope, and yet feel stuck? The answer is not rejection. The answer is direction. The delay you feel is not a punishment. It is not because you are unworthy. It is not because Allah has abandoned you. Sometimes the delay is a quiet, tender way Allah is guiding you towards something greater, something better than you could imagine. Sometimes He does not give you what you asked for, because what you think you need is not what you truly need. And what you truly need is always more beautiful, more protective, and more beneficial than what your limited heart can desire. Think about the times in your life when you prayed for something and it didn't happen. At the time you felt hurt, frustrated, maybe even angry. But then, months or years later, you realize that the path you were praying to be on was not the one meant for you. That failure, that loss, that no from the world was actually a mercy from Allah. He was protecting you from something you could not yet see, preparing you for something far greater than what you imagined. The dua you think was unanswered was actually answered in a way your mind could not comprehend at that moment. And yes, I know it hurts. I know the nights feel long when you are waiting. I know the heartache of repeated prayers that seem to vanish into thin air. But it is in these moments that your faith is tested and your love for Allah is deepened. It is in these moments that your sincerity shines, when your heart continues to call out despite feeling unheard. Imagine the love of a parent listening to a child crying in the night. The child may not see their parent immediately, but the parent is always there, always watching, always ready to respond. That is Allah with you. That is the closeness He promises, even when the world seems distant, even when the answers seem delayed. Your feelings of being unheard are not a sign of failure. They are a test of patience, a reminder to turn inward and connect with your heart. Dua is not just about getting what you want. It is about building a relationship, a connection, a trust. It is about surrendering to Allah's wisdom even when it feels hard. It is about saying, "Ya Allah, I do not understand your plan, but I trust you. I do not know why this is happening, but I know you are with me." That trust, that surrender, that persistent reaching out, it is what transforms your prayers from words into a light that illuminates your soul. And here's something beautiful, even in silence, even in what feels like emptiness, Allah is shaping your heart. He is teaching you patience. He is teaching you resilience. He is teaching you to rely on Him completely, not on outcomes, not on immediate results, but on the one who is most merciful, most wise, and most loving. Every tear that falls, every sigh that escapes in frustration, every whispered "Ya Allah" in the dark, they are all seeds. Seeds of hope, seeds of connection, seeds of something that will blossom into something more beautiful than you can imagine. So tonight, if you feel unheard, if you feel lost, if you feel like giving up, I want you to do one thing: breathe and raise your hands again. Let your heart speak even when your mind doubts. Let your soul call out even when the night is long. Because the moment you feel unheard is the moment Allah is closest to you. The moment your heart feels heavy is the moment your sincerity becomes stronger. And the moment you keep praying, keep hoping, and keep trusting, that is when the doors of mercy begin to open. Slowly, quietly, in ways you might not yet see, your life is beginning to change. Not because Allah is silent, but because your heart is learning to listen, to trust, and to surrender completely. Remember, the delay is not a denial, it is a guidance. The silence is not absence, it is preparation. The heaviness is not punishment, it is love. Keep making dua, keep speaking to Allah, keep trusting that every prayer, every tear, every whisper is reaching Him. And one day when the answer comes, it will come in a way that makes every moment of waiting worth it. Dua is more than a list of wishes, it is more than a collection of requests whispered in the dark. It is a conversation, a sacred, intimate conversation between your heart and Allah, one who knows you better than you know yourself. Many of us make dua as if we are reading from a menu. I want this, I want that, give me this, remove that. And then we wonder why it feels empty, why our hearts feel restless, why our prayers seem distant. That is because dua is not a transaction. Dua is not about demanding. Dua is about connecting. Think about the people you love most in your life. Your closest friends, your family, the ones who know you inside out. You don't approach them with a list of demands. You talk to them. You pour your heart out. You laugh, you cry, you confess, you ask for advice, you express your fears. Dua is exactly like that, but infinitely more powerful. When you speak to Allah, you are speaking to the one who loves you more than anyone, who understands you completely, and who never judges you. He knows your heart. He already knows your struggles, your pain, your fears, your dreams, and yet, He wants you to speak to Him. He wants your voice, your words, your honesty. Imagine sitting in a quiet place, closing your eyes and saying to Allah, Ya Allah, I'm tired, I'm confused, I feel lost. I don't know what to do. You might think these words are ordinary, but to Allah they are precious. They are a testament to your trust, a proof of your connection, a declaration of your faith, because even though He already knows, He wants your heart to reach out. He wants your soul to remember that it belongs to Him. Dua is a place where your soul can breathe. It is a sanctuary where your emotions can be laid bare. You can be completely honest, completely vulnerable. There is no shame in your tears, no weakness in your cries, no embarrassment in your fears. In fact, Allah loves the voice of the servant who is honest, who is raw, who is sincere. The Prophet ﷺ said, the dua of a servant is answered as long as he does not make haste, saying, I have called upon my Lord, but he did not respond. Sahih al-Bukhari. This means that patience, trust, and sincerity are part of the power of your dua. Think about it this way. Every moment you speak to Allah, every whispered, Ya Allah, every tear that falls, every sigh that escapes, they are threads weaving your soul closer to Him. Dua is not about asking for everything at once. It is about a dialogue, a relationship, a conversation where your heart speaks and Allah listens, where your fears are voiced and His mercy responds, where your confusion is expressed and His guidance begins to light the path. And here's a secret many people overlook. The beauty of dua is not in what you get, but in what you become. When you speak to Allah honestly, your heart softens, your soul finds peace. You feel lighter even before the answer arrives. Because dua is not just about changing your situation. Dua is about transforming your heart. It is about remembering where you came from, who you belong to, and who holds your life in His hands. Sometimes people make dua mechanically, rushing through the words, focusing on the outcome instead of the connection. But sincere dua comes from presence, from feeling, from the heart, from letting your soul open fully to Allah, saying, Ya Allah, I need you. I can't do this without you. I'm placing everything in your hands. That moment, that raw, honest, vulnerable moment, is when your dua starts to work in ways beyond your imagination. Not because Allah suddenly gives you what you want, but because He begins to transform your heart, your perspective, and your patience. And remember, talking to Allah doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need fancy words, long sentences, or a formal tone. Speak as you are, speak as you feel, speak from the heart. Laugh with Him, cry with Him, ask for forgiveness, ask for guidance, share your dreams, share your pain. Let your soul pour out everything it carries. That is the essence of dua. That is the power of talking to Allah, not just asking Him. Dua is a lifeline. It is your connection to the one who can change everything in the blink of an eye. It is your place of refuge when the world is cruel, when people fail, when life feels heavy, and the more you speak, the more you trust, the more you surrender, the more you will feel that presence, that love, that never leaves. Your dua becomes alive not because of the words, not because of the requests, but because of the heart behind them. So today and every day, do not just ask. Do not just list your desires. Talk, share your heart, speak with honesty, with tears, with hope, with trust. And as you do, notice how your heart begins to breathe, how your soul begins to lighten, how your connection with Allah deepens. Dua is not a task, it is a gift. It is a bridge between your heart and the most merciful. And every moment you spend in that conversation, every word you whisper, every tear you shed, is a step closer to the peace, guidance, and mercy that Allah is preparing for you. When we think about dua, we often focus on the outcome, the thing we want, the relief we are hoping for, the answer we are longing to hear. But the true secret of powerful, life-changing dua does not lie in the words themselves. It lies in the heart behind the words. Dua becomes alive, transformative, and answered when it is born from sincerity, from pain, from humility, from absolute trust in Allah. Think about the times when you have prayed most earnestly, when your heart was breaking, when tears streamed down your face, when your chest felt heavy with worry or fear. Those are the moments when dua reaches its peak power, not because of eloquence or fancy words, not because of how long or short your prayer is, but because your heart is fully present, because every word you whisper is weighted with meaning, because every tear carries a piece of your soul. Sincere dua is not rushed, it is not mechanical, it is not about asking for things as quickly as possible, like checking items off a shopping list. Allah does not measure dua by its speed or its length. He measures it by its depth, the depth of your faith, the depth of your trust, the depth of your surrender. The Prophet ﷺ said, "The supplication of the one who does not hasten is answered." This means that patience, attention, and heartfelt presence matter more than the number of words you say. Sometimes Allah delays the answer to your prayers. And that delay, though it may feel like rejection, is actually a gift. It is an opportunity for your heart to soften, for your soul to purify, for your intentions to become sincere and free from hidden desires or impatience. Think of it like planting a seed. You cannot rush the growth of a tree by pulling it out of the soil. It needs time, care, water, and sunlight. Similarly, your dua needs time to be nurtured by your sincerity, your trust, and your patience. The delay is part of that nurturing. Imagine a heart that speaks to Allah with full honesty. Ya Allah, I don't understand what is happening. I feel broken, confused, and lost, but I trust you. I surrender to you. I am yours completely. That moment, that cry from the depths of the heart, is a dua that reaches beyond words. It carries humility, need, and absolute faith. And that is what makes it alive. That is what makes it powerful. That is what makes it irresistible to the one who loves his servants beyond measure. Sincere dua also transforms you internally. When you pray with a heart that is fully present, fully trusting, and fully surrendering, something begins to change inside you. Your worries begin to feel lighter. Your fears begin to shrink. Your soul begins to open to hope. You start to see signs of mercy, even in small moments. A comforting word, a helpful friend, an unexpected opportunity. Even before the answer arrives, your heart starts to receive a taste of what is coming, because sincere dua begins the transformation from within. Another secret is humility. True dua arises when we recognize our limitations, our need, our dependence on Allah. It is the moment when pride falls away, when we admit that we cannot do this alone, when we open our hearts fully and say, Ya Allah, I need you, I am nothing without you. This humility is the soil in which sincere dua grows. Without it, our prayers remain shallow, like seeds scattered on rocks. But with humility, they take root, they grow, they blossom, and they bear the fruits of guidance, mercy, and answered prayers. And surrender, complete surrender, is the crown of sincere dua. It is not enough to ask, you must also accept. Accept that Allah's wisdom is infinite, that His timing is perfect, and that His answer may not look like what you expect. Sincere dua is not about insisting on a specific outcome. It is about saying, Ya Allah, I asked you because I need your guidance. I trust your wisdom, I accept whatever you decree. That surrender opens the heart to divine blessings that are beyond imagination. Even your tears are a part of sincere dua. Every tear carries a prayer. Every sob becomes a conversation. Every broken moment is transformed into an offering to Allah. Do not underestimate the power of your emotions in dua. Allah sees them, Allah hears them, and Allah responds to the heart, even when the tongue cannot find the words. So if you want your dua to be answered, begin with sincerity. Let your heart speak freely. Let your pain be heard. Let your longing be known. Be patient, be humble, be present, and trust that every sincere word, every tear, every whispered cry is reaching the most merciful. Sincere dua changes more than circumstances, it changes you. It softens the heart, it strengthens faith, it purifies intentions, and it draws you closer to Allah in ways that no worldly success ever could. And when the answer does come, it is not just a gift, it is a testament to your persistence, your trust, and the love that Allah has for His servant who calls upon Him with a sincere heart. Remember, it is not how long or how fancy your dua is. It is not the number of words or the perfection of the phrasing. The secret of dua lies in the heart, in its sincerity, its humility, its patience, and its surrender. Speak from there, cry from there, trust from there, and you will see, slowly but surely, your prayers being answered, your heart being healed, and your soul being lifted in ways you could never have imagined. It's easy to look at your life, at your unanswered prayers, at your struggles, and feel frustrated. You ask, you hope, you wait, and still, nothing seems to happen. You may even feel anger, confusion, or sadness. Why isn't Allah answering me now? Why is this taking so long? You might ask yourself, and when the heart struggles with patience, doubt can creep in. But this is where the most beautiful lesson of faith lies, trusting Allah's timing. Allah's timing is perfect. Even when ours is flawed, He sees what we cannot see. He knows what we cannot understand. He is Al-Latif, the subtle one, working quietly behind the scenes in ways that we might never notice. Every delay, every moment of waiting, every unanswered request is part of His plan, and His plan is always better than anything we could imagine. What we perceive as delay might actually be protection. What we think is a no may actually be a preparation for something far greater than our hearts can hold right now. Consider the moments in your life when you thought you needed something urgently. You prayed for it, begged for it, hoped for it, and yet it didn't come. At the time, it hurt. It disappointed you. You felt like Allah had abandoned you. But later, with time, perspective, and reflection, you realized that what you wanted was not good for you. It might have caused harm, pain, or regret. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, delayed it, protected you from it, and guided you towards something far better. That is the essence of His timing. Allah's timing is also a test of your patience and trust. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to strengthen your heart, to deepen your faith, and to cultivate reliance on Him. When your dua is delayed, it is not a sign of rejection. It is a sign of preparation, a test of your sincerity, a chance to submit to His wisdom, to trust that what He has planned for you is more beautiful than anything you could have imagined. Trusting Allah's timing also means accepting uncertainty. We live in a world that craves control. We want immediate results, instant solutions, and clear answers. But faith asks us to surrender, to step back, and to let Allah's plan unfold. It is in the waiting that we learn humility. It is in the pause that we grow closer to Him. And it is in the uncertainty that our reliance on Allah becomes genuine, not superficial. Think of it like this. You ask Allah for guidance, for mercy, for relief. You pray sincerely, but the answer does not come immediately. Instead of giving up, you continue to pray, continue to trust, and continue to hope. And then when the moment is right, when your heart is ready, when your soul is prepared, the answer arrives, often in a way you never expected, but always in a way that is perfect. The timing is flawless because Allah knows the exact moment when the blessings will have the most meaning and impact in your life. Sometimes, Allah's timing means receiving the answer differently than you imagined. Perhaps the path you wanted was not for you. Perhaps the door you thought would open was meant to remain closed. And perhaps a completely different, far better door is waiting to be opened. That is why trust is so important. Trust that Allah knows. Trust that Allah sees. Trust that Allah is working in ways that are hidden from your eyes, but always visible to His mercy and wisdom. Even when the world seems harsh, even when others disappoint you, even when life feels overwhelming, know that Allah's timing is perfect. The storm may rage now, but the calm is coming. The delay may hurt now, but the relief is on its way. The struggle may weigh on your heart, but the answer will arrive exactly when it should. Do not stop praying. Do not stop asking. Do not stop hoping. The moment your heart trusts in Allah's timing, every whisper of Ya Allah becomes a thread of patience, every tear becomes a seed of faith, and every sigh becomes a step closer to the mercy you are seeking. Your prayers are not wasted. They are being shaped, refined, and prepared to blossom in the exact moment Allah chooses. Remember, your life is like a beautifully written story, and Allah is the perfect author. Each delay, each trial, each unanswered prayer is a chapter. Sometimes we cannot see the ending. Sometimes we cannot understand the plot, but every chapter, every moment, every hardship is written with precision, wisdom, and love. And when the moment arrives, when Allah answers, everything will make sense. The waiting, the hardship, and the struggle will transform into gratitude, peace, and understanding. So tonight, if your heart feels heavy, if your prayers feel unanswered, remind yourself Allah's timing is perfect. The moment you feel despair is the moment you must trust. The moment you feel lost is the moment you must hold on. The moment you feel unheard is the moment you must continue raising your hands. Because the door of Allah's mercy never closes, and His plan is always better than our imagination. Trust, wait, pray, and believe. Your life is unfolding exactly as it should, and your prayers are being answered in ways you cannot yet see, but will one day understand. Even when life feels heavy, even when the world seems against you, even when you feel lost, weak, or unworthy, never stop talking to Allah. Your dua is not measured by perfection, by eloquence, or by length. It is measured by the sincerity of your heart, by your persistence, and by the trust you place in Him. Every Ya Allah you whisper, every tear you shed, every sigh that escapes your chest is recorded by Allah. It is seen, it is heard, and it is valued more than you could ever imagine. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking that because we stumble, because we sin, or because we feel unworthy, Allah will not listen to us. That is a misconception. Allah is Al-Ghafur, the most forgiving, and Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. His love for His servant is greater than any mistake, any failure, any sin. Even when you feel your heart is broken, your soul is burdened, or your mind is confused, Allah's ears are open to your cries, and His mercy is ready to envelop you. Imagine a child calling for their parent again and again, even after falling, even after failing. The parent does not turn away. The parent does not stop listening. The parent does not stop loving. That is how Allah listens to His servants. He loves the ones who return to Him repeatedly, who turn to Him with hope and trust, even when they feel they have nothing to offer but their hearts. Keep talking to Allah, even if your words are simple, even if you cannot form perfect sentences, even if all you can say is, Ya Allah, I need you. Please help me. That is enough. That is powerful. That is transformative. Your sincerity, your persistence, your trust, these are what make your dua alive, what make it effective, what make it heard. And remember, every moment of speaking to Allah is also a moment of internal change. Every whisper, every tear, every prayer shapes your heart. It softens it. It strengthens it. It purifies it. Your heart begins to trust, even when circumstances are confusing. Your soul begins to hope, even when the world seems dark. Your faith deepens, even when trials are heavy. That is the unseen beauty of persistent dua. It transforms you from within, preparing you for the blessings and answers that are on their way. Even when answers feel delayed, even when life does not go according to your plan, keep talking, keep pouring your heart out, keep trusting, because Allah's plan is always better than our imagination. And every moment of patience, every moment of persistence, every moment of trust builds a bridge to His mercy. That bridge will carry you to outcomes far more beautiful than anything you could have planned for yourself. Sometimes the change does not come in the way you expect. Perhaps the situation does not shift immediately. Perhaps the people around you do not change. Perhaps the world continues to feel harsh and unfair. But the real change happens within you. Your heart changes, your perspective changes. Your soul becomes stronger, calmer, and more peaceful. And when your heart changes, everything around you begins to shift, because your relationship with Allah has deepened, and your life begins to reflect that connection. So tonight, no matter how heavy your heart, no matter how deep your pain, no matter how lost you feel, raise your hands again. Say, Ya Allah, I know you hear me. I trust you. I surrender to you. Say it with honesty, say it with tears, say it with hope. Let your heart pour out everything. Your fears, your worries, your dreams, your gratitude. Let your soul speak freely, without fear, without hesitation, without doubt. Keep talking to Allah because He loves your voice. Keep talking to Allah because He sees your tears. Keep talking to Allah because your persistence is a sign of love, trust, and faith. Keep talking to Allah because every whisper, every prayer, every tear is shaping your life, your heart, and your destiny. And remember this, your life will begin to change. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, not because your circumstances immediately shift, but because your heart begins to change. Your faith strengthens, your trust grows, your patience blossoms, your soul becomes closer to Allah. And from that closeness, peace, guidance, blessings, and solutions flow naturally, often in ways that surpass anything you had imagined or hoped for. So tonight, raise your hands, speak from your heart, and never stop. Keep talking to Allah. He is listening, He is near, and His mercy is waiting to embrace you, transform you, and answer your prayers in the most beautiful way possible.